But I actually did, I converted to Judaism. And of course, when people find out that I'm a convert, people often ask, why? By which they really mean, what's wrong with you? You didn't have enough trouble? Were you really trying to be an extra credit target for a KKK sniper? And of course, I always tell people that I became a Jew for the food. Certainly not for the wine. That's a joke. I really became a Jew because between Kwanzaa, Christmas, and Hanukkah, I could just take December off. It's a joke, really. I really became a Jew to confuse Louis Farrakhan. I didn't have high hopes for that one here anyhow. It's going well, you try these things just to see how it goes. But I live in the States, in a pretty Jewish suburb of Chicago. Funny, I live in Chicago. You travel around the world, and you tell people. I met a guy actually from Beirut a couple years ago, and I said, "Where you from?" And I said, "I'm from Chicago." He says, "Oh, Chicago! Bang, 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 bang!" You live in Beirut, brother. But we do. So I live in a Jewish community. Although it's not, it's not at all a from kind of a community. Not like Mea Shearim down in the hood. And the truth is one of the great ironies of my life is that for years I had to explain to my children why we did not celebrate Christmas and next door the Rosenbergs did. But I did, and it's not really, it's something of a misnomer to say that I converted because I had gone to Catholic schools for many years, so I'd given up Catholicism at age 10. But for years I had described myself as a Catholic atheist, which means that I did not believe in God, but I was afraid of her anyway. I refer to God in the feminine, and it's not really so much a belief or even a feminist suck-up, although I'll take what I can get. But it's not really that, it's more a desperate hope. Because I'm a dad, and I think I understand about the relationship between fathers and rules, and I'm pretty much sure that if it's God the Father, I'm dead meat. God the Father would say, Mr. Freeman, you read the book, right? You read the book, there was clearly an outline, go to hell. Thus do all my hopes rest in God, the mom. Because you can always get a break from mom. Oh, come on, Mom. I only messed up 75 years. You can't punish me forever. Come on. Mom will say, oh, you knucklehead, get in here. I got your room for you. But I converted. I did convert. And and of course you can't, for Judaism, as you may or may not know, this is a very complex process. It's not like the Catholics where you just dunk and you're in. The Jews have a very complex process you have to go through. You have to go to Jew school. I studied in Chicago. I began my studies in Chicago, then my introduction to Judaism at a place called the Spertus Institute of Jewish Studies, affectionately known as JUU. And it was my first experience, my first class was a wonderful experience. You go into the room. Well, first of all, my first time in the class was great because the rabbi was half an hour late. Thank you. That's what I was saying, because because between what we call Jewish Standard Time and what we call colored people time, I don't gotta show up. We understand it's your people. But so I was in the class there, I was in the class, there's 40 people in the room, Jewish men of all ages, each one with a 22-year-old shiksa named Jennifer. Interestingly enough, the success of that joke is inversely proportional to the number of shiksas in the audience. Kind of a shiksa locator joke there. Well, there were those 40 people in the room. There was also a polite smattering of African-American men and 2 Irish Catholic lesbians there for reasons no one could fathom. It was all very good. It was all very good. Very fun. And it was a very big shock for me because, of course, the insistence always with Judaism is to read the book. Because as I've come to understand, the fundamental nature of Judaism is that Judaism is fundamentally the world's most obsessive-compulsive book club. There's just the 5 books that the Jews read over and over and over again. We read books about the books, commentaries on the books, about the books, and the commentaries on the commentaries about the books. That's why Jews don't convert to other religions. We have no other cultural inputs. There's no time to learn about any other religions. But it was really grand, and it was really very interesting, and of course I learned, and because it was all new and exciting to me, I learned things that I hadn't known. I became a big fan of King Solomon, wisest man who ever lived, 700 wives, 400 concubines, biblical Moshe Katsav. But it was really grand. It was really a lot of fun, and I'm checking, of course, every week I'm checking with my rabbi. My rabbi is Capos Fournier, who's the Jewish Jackie Robinson. The first African-American rabbi on the Chicago Board of Rabbis, big time, yeah. And he finally, after a year and a half, he said, "Well, Mr. Freeman, what do you think?" And I'm saying, "Rabbi, Jew me. I'm in. I'm willing to give up chitlins." There, that's it. Serious, man, serious. And he said, "Yes, all right, that's fine. So fine. We've arranged for your bet din to the mikvah on Monday, and then on Sunday we'll have a bris." You mean like the bris of beef that people have on Friday nights? The dinner is a very nice thing. He said, no, of course, the ritual of circumcision is mandatory under Jewish law. I said, well, hey, dude, I was born in 1956. Everybody was circumcised. I gave it the office. Thank you very much. He said, that's fine. We still have to have the ritual piercing of the skin. It's no problem. It's no problem, dude. Easy. I'm fine. Cool. Fine. Go home. 3 o'clock in the morning, wake up in the cold sweat. What do you mean piercing of the skin? A bris is a surreal thing to do on a Sunday morning in Chicago, Illinois. Whole Sunday morning, actually head out to Skokie, the suburb, go to the rabbi's house, knock on the door. Walk in, 4 guys sitting around the table. And we all know why we're here. Everyone tries to be cool. They want to obsess on it. You're sitting around, having little lox, bagels, cream cheese, talking about the Bears, the Bulls, the Cubs. They suck. But ultimately, we all know why we are here. And at a point of the moil, the man who gives meaning to member of the tribe. Moil comes to me on morning, you go into the little room with the Moil and the lights are down, there's music, and he puts on the rubber gloves. It's a date. And it's not a complex endeavor at all. It's only, they use a little metal thing that they use to draw blood from your finger. It's nothing, it's just a little tiny thing. But of course, aimed at your manhood, it's like the sword of Damocles, menacing generations of Freeman children to come. But it was nothing. It was a very simple thing, And then so, we do the bris on the Sunday, go to the mikvah on the Monday, but I must tell you that the preceding Friday afternoon, before I had touched a drop of Jewish water, before I had shed 1 drop of Jewish blood, the Jewish United Fund called me. They said I owed $600,000 in back pledges. When could they expect my check? These people get faxes from God. I'm absolutely certain.